question, quickly coming to your question, there is no all effort to get the army speak failed woefully. But the only thing is that you must know that facts are sacred. If a professor is expert in speaking grammar, you can only slap and quieten that professor with statistics and facts. So also the agencies of government. But since we have been able to do our thorough independent investigation, irrefutable and irrebuttable, the Nigerian army has run away from speaking on that particular issue. And by the way, it may interest you to know that all the abductions that took place in Oyibo were perpetrated by Nigerian army. The Nigerian army solely abducted those people and solely took them to where they are presently being detained. And that is the situation. And this way, our information was also collaborated by interviews conducted from the, received from some of the freed victims. For instance, we didn't know that women, the women up to 50 were among those that were abducted. We didn't know. It was in the course of our interview with two young ladies that were freed in January, that they told us that in that female guard room at Mogadishu Barrack, they saw another set of Obigbo women numbering over 50. That's how they put it. And so on and so forth, even the cause of raping them, that all of them were in the same guard room and what have you. So it was from that information that we now put and spread our tentacles, and behold, through the high wire. Yeah, sure.
May I interject at this point? Let me stay with the women you've mentioned, about 53 of them. You just quickly said here that the information you had was that these women were abducted from Oyibo and they were raped. Did I hear you say that?
I think we should have allowed me to land in. I know.
Okay, please go ahead. I mean,
so you can just note it down. So when I must have landed, you can come back with the question, no problem. So as I was saying, so those two ladies were interviewed, and they told us shockingly that, look, Oga, we are not the only female there. In fact, in the course of finding ourselves in the guard room, female guard room at Mogadishu Barracks, that we came across, we discovered that there were 50 Obigbo women that were, detained, abducted and detained with us. That's this thing. We said, is that so? They said, yes. So after the interview with the ladies, we now spread our tentacles. And behold, the names were allocated to, by the time we intervened, because those women were freed in January. The two ladies were freed in January, and we interviewed them in February, on February 8th. So from that February 8th, we got information, that type of shocking information from them. We now decided to make more inquiries. And in the course of inquiries, we discovered that true, that those women have been in the captive of Nigerian security forces, and presently they are being detained by the DSS. And when we did further investigation, we found out that they were detained severally by the army before being handed over to the DSS. And we, of course, we swung into action and got their names. And we released a statement accusing the DSS of holding 53 young Obigbo women. And up to today, some media guys went to DSS spokesman, that half one or something, Peter somebody, Dr. Peter somebody. And I said the guy declined. He didn't make any comment on that. Do you understand? So, and as we speak now, my brother Tochukwu, I can confirm to you authoritatively that not only that those women were arraigned on Monday by the same DSS, and they were granted bail leniently, but also as we speak. In fact, your medium is the first to break this news, As we speak, not less than 5 minutes ago, 30 of them have been freed, and efforts are still being made to get the remaining 23 out, alongside 26 other, sorry, those 26 have not been, the 26 other males among them have not, their bails have not been processed. But I think he's talking about the other 22 from the other side, brought out by police. So my brother, that is the situation on the ground. That is what we have found. And the facts are sacred, like I said. Facts do not lie. So that is the situation.
So basically, if I say that I'm not dumbfounded, I must be lying. That would be an understatement. Now, these women were kept there as probably, quote unquote, sex slave for over 4 months.
We can now come back to your earlier question, very though inquisitive and curious. So what happened was, in the course of interviewing the young ladies, one is 22 years, one is 23 years. Those young ladies told us, it's very shocking. They told us what happened. They were serially raped. They were serially raped. And they also confirmed that in the course of their captivity in the Nigerian army at Mogadishu barracks, they were there with 50 something, more than 50 other women. And it was not only 2 of them that were raped. That what the soldiers did normally do, I don't know how to put it, was, they come today, they say, you, come here. They pick them, that is random selection. They take them out to their dungeon, to their rape confine within the barrack, and they rape them serially. Then after that, they bring them back. Well, the next day, they come back, and so on and so forth. To the extent that one of these 2 women, who was a virgin, when she was struggling with them, 23 years, I think she's the one that is 22 years, when she was struggling with them, she made them to know that she is a virgin. And a little did she know that she had just announced, giving the beastly soldiers the delicious food they were looking for. And they mercilessly raped this girl to the extent of inflicting injuries or bruises on her laps and what have you. So it was along that, and to the extent that the ladies also told us that one of them was raped. She fainted and she died. And they gave the name of that lady as Victoria. And they said they did not know the whereabouts of her remains or corpse. So it was from here, from this point, that we got to know that the other ladies among those 53 women also were made rape victims. But not to worry, more revelations are going to come out. But we are just talking about those that we have interviewed and have them on record and on camera.
And this, from your listen, I am the words you've just said, kind of, as a father, I know how it feels for this.
It's shocking. It's shocking. It is shocking.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless to note that those we pay tax to for the protection of the collective, quote unquote, would be in a position to do this to innocent people. I mean, it's unbelievable. But this is the work you do, my Emeka. The question that I would then ask you is there any way you think that this, or rather justice, could be, there could be justice for the people that were abused? I mean, I'm not talking about the ones that have been illegally detained for 4 months. obviously no crime is less, but it's for the abuse victims. Do you think there is any succor?
Well, the two ladies already, their names already ringing bell in certain sensitive quarters all across the world. So this is a very shocking situation. And I'm aware that those who are being freed are likely to be taken to certain sensitive quarters by, in coming days or something like that for those responsible to see, to see what has happened to them. So, of course, there must be justice. And this is more so when crime is not status bar. Crime does not have a expiring date. But I think when something happens like this, in criminology and law, processes are bound. When something happened, for instance, I did not even remember to tell you that soldiers also acted as armed robbers in the course of abducting all the victims. Do you know that among those women, of course, you have a mother, you have a wife, you have relatives that are females. You know how women think and run. Do you know that those 53 women, now 55, including 50, I think 57 now, because among those 22 persons that police belatedly arraigned on Friday last week, among them were 2 women, and they are yet to be freed because of the efforts to fulfill their bail condition. So one thing I didn't let you know is that there was soldiers, our dear soldiers of the Nigerian army also became armed robbers in the course of abducting them, because all their belongings, the phone, the sanitary parts inside the bag, you don't go to the bag of a woman, that, but inside the bag of a woman, I'm sad, but I'm just laughing anyway. So, a lot of things from what we asked them from inside the 2 women we interviewed. What happened? How about your bags and what have they said? Everything. If they bought new underwears, all of them disappeared. ATM
okay, but
card
hold on. Now you are talking about this. Now, these women were abducted. Obviously, they were not charged. They didn't go. It wasn't arrested. It wasn't an arrest by the police. That meant it's an illegal arrest, meaning they had no prison cloth, meaning they kept the same cloth that they wore, and apparently and invariably the same underwear that they wore at the point of arrest. They just,
that is exactly the point we are making. You abducted somebody. You took away all his or her belongings. If the person abducted was a woman, you took away her bag. And inside her bag, both ATM card, the national ID card, money. If the lady was a sales girl, you took away money that cash sum that were realized from daily sales, and so on and so forth. Her sanitary parts, her bra, if she, decided to have space and what have you, the cash, everything, ATM, phone, SIM card, loaded the credit, the data, this, that, and what have you. All those things were taken away from them. And we were made subjected to wear, like you said, one set of underwears for a period of 4 months. Nothing. Their families were not aware. Nobody was allowed to access them, and so on and so forth. Only God knows. So the soldiers acted as armed robbers, because do you know why we say that? We have been able to release 208 of them, excluding the 30 that have just been announced, freed. We have been able to release 208 of them.
So on the screen here, you will have some of them in court. Were these among these people that we can?
Yeah. No, yes, these are the 63 people that were released before this one, before the the ongoing process. Do you understand?
Okay.
So look at these guys now. Those guys you see there, all those clothes you see them wearing were bought newly. All the sandals or what have you see them wearing were bought newly. Every
I can see
damn thing.
the bedroom slippers and the jerseys.
They cannot wear one bedroom slippers for 4 months. So maybe because of the cost and so that's the thing. Everything they wear there was got. Do you know that at a point in the course of releasing about freeing about 7 of them, you know, abandoned at a DSS abandoned facility back in January. The DSS refused, insisted that they must be cleaned up before they can release them. So that made the good Samaritans to bring in the new clothes, which they wore and things like that before they were allowed to be, before they were freed. So like